And away we go on a Tuesday. Rico's back, so we had to play the song. Had to happen.
You.
The most uncomfortable drop ever.
It is.
It's not great. I can't tell you that I like the song or the drop, but I've been overruled by the crew that we can't get rid of it.
Apparently, I didn't get a vote.
No one who's the feature of said dropper song gets to vote on that. You're excluded. You can't.
I got it.
So look, we need to lead off with something that is near and dear to your heart. And I'm going to play audio of the show prior to us because I want to offer you what I'm not going to do. I don't speak about Rico on this. Rico, I don't know how he's going to approach this over the next month. But the show prior, Rico, I mean, Jim Costa walks in, cleans Doug's office out, takes over his show, and just goes to Mount Sanctimonious, screaming at Gator. Because Gator has the audacity to say, I like Jalen Carter. I'd be okay taking Jalen Carter at 6. I want to play this audio for you, and I want to show you what I'm not going to do as we begin the true run-up to the draft. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair. Let's do it.
And then you're going to tell me how you're going to approach it. Kenny Cott with some of this audio of Jim Costa yelling in a cartoon pizza shirt, by the way. Oh, 9 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Costa. Well, that sounds like a sports minute.
You know what, Mike? I had this conversation with Costa on this weekend show, and I shut him down very quickly. When I was like, you know what, Jimmy? Everybody makes mistakes. He didn't have his best day, but it doesn't mean that you judge him based off of that day. It's not like he missed a shift or anything.
Oops.
And everything went quiet. Because
and it's
the reason being, you can make a mistake, and it doesn't mean that's who you are. It just means that you had a bad choice for that day.
And again, let me state how I'm approaching this. Rico can go whatever direction he wants. If you're a fan and you want the Lions to take Jalen Carter at 6, I'm not mad. I'm unemotional. If you are someone like Jim Costa and you don't want Jalen Carter at 6, I'm not mad. I'm unemotional. I want to know where you, the Lions fan, are at with the Jalen Carter situation a month out from the draft. It is a month from today, basically. I am completely unemotional because I trust Brad Holmes. I trust Dan Campbell. I trust what they're going to do with this pick, provided it's not a quarterback, but that's for later. That if they took Jalen Carter, they're convinced that he loves football sufficiently. And if they don't take Jalen Carter, they're convinced sufficiently he's not a fit for the culture. But I am, in the words of Matthew McConaughey, completely unemotional about Jalen Carter. And I want to know where you're at. And Rico, you're back. You like the kid. You want the kid. Guess what I'm not doing with you for the next month? I'm not going to argue. I'm fine if you want him. But that show prior, that's never going to be this show over the next month. They went bananas about this Jalen Carter stuff.
No, I need to see what's going to happen. I need to see the pick, and that's why if you don't take him, I want to know who you're going to take. But this whole, well, he's going to hurt your culture, as I keep telling people, you're the Lions. Newsflash, you don't have any culture. Culture means you have trophies in the case. You have none. You got worthless banners hanging, but you don't have this culture. You're not one of those teams that can say, the Steelers, the Niners, your Giants, we have Super Bowl trophies, we have standards. You're still in your infancy stages when it comes to the NFL. You and the expansion teams are the only teams to never make the Super Bowl. So you don't have culture. A few weeks ago, this guy was going number 1 in the draft. Now, because of circumstances, you can have him. My thing is, don't overthink this. You know who didn't overthink it? The Cowboys. They took Micah Parsons. He was standing right there. You can have your Micah Parsons moment. Jalen Carter right there. Just take him.
248-539-9797. Are you just unemotional about the Jalen Carter thing because that's where I'm at. If they take him, I'll live with it. If they don't, I'll live with it. I am not going to fight anyone over the next 30 calendar days. Not going to do it. Or have you reached a point where you trust the Lions enough to trust what they do at 6, that if they took a controversial player or passed on him, you could live with it? 248-539-9797. I want to get into it. I want to see if we can have a different approach because the two of them were arguing like barnyard animals. It was crazy.
Oh, because according to Jim, Jalen Carter is the Antichrist and the devil. He is the worst thing that ever happened to college football. If he comes to the Lions will be a disgrace to the NFL. I'm like, guy, every year there's somebody who slips up. They make mistakes. Teams cash in on those mistakes. And a lot of times they're fine with it. If you're going to go with this culture thing, here's the thing. If they don't take him, Mike, that's fine. But I will say this. I'm going to start judging Brad Holmes a little harsher if they don't, because now I'm going to follow his career. And if his career takes off, that'll be on Holmes.
Yeah, but it has to be weighed against who they do take. Rico,
No. No. But Mike, you know how it goes. There's sometimes two people become paired together, like Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. And for the rest of your career, you two are going to be compared to each other. So if you don't take Carter, whoever they take will be compared to Carter. And if Carter takes off and this guy doesn't, if it ends up being Terry Fair and Randy Moss,
well, that's
then
naturally.
No. I'm just saying that as an example. Whoever they take is somebody that I'm going to forever pair with Jalen Carter.
That's fine. And if the Lions win a Super Bowl, I'll tell you to take the player you're pairing with them, and you can put it where the sun don't shine because I don't care.
And maybe they got it right and said, you know what, Rico, you're an idiot. We took the right guy. This is why you do radio. This is why we run the
One thing I disagree with what you said, though, Rico, and I mean, it's, again, I'm not going to turn into Jim in a pizza sweatshirt with shoulder nipples. Like, who hangs a sweater for that long that it, whatever, we don't care. It's unbelievable. But
was that a minor league team?
No, that's just a minor league sweatshirt that was on discount. I don't know where you even procure such a thing. But like you say, well, the Lions don't have culture or it's in the infancy. And I'm like, great example. They now are going to bring in Calais Campbell. And I've said it. Calais Campbell's a culture guy. Like they are building something. And I guess if they have a really good year and they do win this division, Rico, is it unfair to say that they had built a culture? Like, I do want certain types of players. I think if you're a young team, you gotta have these ideals that you're trying to fulfill. Yes, if you're the Steelers, the ideals become actualities. But they are building something here.
No. You're, Mike, building something and having a culture is two different things. If you've won, like your Yankees have a culture. They have a standard.
Yes, of gagging in October.
No, but you've won. The Lions have never won. So to tell me, well, we have a culture, your culture's gotten you nothing. So maybe you need to rethink that culture and do things differently is what I'm trying to say.
248-539-9797. I want to know where you guys are at because, again, every show on this station's different. But Jalen Carter is second only to the quarterback conversation at 6 as far as fights. I'm not fighting on Jalen Carter. You can fight with Rico. You're welcome to fight with Rico. Hell, I hope you do. But I am unemotional about it because I trust that they're going to do the work. And when Jalen Carter comes in for a workout and they go out to dinner and they do that whole song and dance, I trust that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes will make a decision on this young man that I can live with.
And you know what, Mike? I'm going to say this. The fact that they're bringing him in, they're kicking the tires. If they then pass on him, I would like to know why, and maybe that's just a private conversation of why you passed on him, but I at least like the fact they're not going full Jim Costa. We have nothing to do with this man. That's just foolishness.
I agree with you there. 248-539-9797. Kenny, I mean, we were all here. I mean, it was heated between Gator and Costa. It was a lot of yelling. Where are you on this? Are you unemotional about you're a Georgia guy. Are you unemotional about Jalen Carter at 6? Or do you have a vested, I'm going to die on this hillside?
I'm not unemotional about it. I am slightly emotional. The emotion I would use to describe it is giddy. If he falls to 6, I'm giddy. If they take him, I'm giddy. And if they don't, Yes, I trust Brad Holmes. I trust his process. I believe in his drafting strategy and what he's doing, but the emotion will be disappointed. Bummed out. Now, I'm sure they're going to pick the right guy at 6. That's not what I'm saying. But I will be disappointed because that's kind of my guy at this point, Jalen Carter.
So you're married to it. So you're emotional about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're Rico, essentially. Is that fair?
In what way?
Well, certainly not in the
He's a
No,
good-looking
I know.
young man. He's a
Certainly.
good-looking young man.
That's right.
That
Yeah, we're both dashing young men.
Okay. Well,
Charming.
Rico's not young.
Well, it's all relative.
You were born
Compared
3
to
days
Sister
after
Jean?
Morgan Freeman.
But compared to Sister Jean, I am young.
Fair. All right, let's get to it. I want to hear from the people. We'll take your calls. We'll get some of the ticket texts. Got a little college basketball in the 4 o'clock. I wanted to wait till Rico came back so we could do this today. I will attempt to sell him on something. I'll probably fail. And I have a solution for the Lions. Easy. Fits under the cap. It would absolutely give you one of the best backup quarterbacks in football and guarantee you don't take one at 6. So why aren't they doing it? I think I have the answer.